Hi, everyone, to the webinar, How to Take Advantage of Grassroots.org Free Technology Tools and Services, provided to GuideStar Silver and Gold level participants. My name is Erin Andrews, and I'm the Senior Director of Nonprofit Strategy here at GuideStar. A few housekeeping items before we begin. First, we're going to be live tweeting during today's presentation using the hashtag GrassrootsGSX, so please join the conversation on Twitter. Second, we're happy to take questions from all of you during the presentation. We'll try to answer as many as we can before our time is up. To submit a question, you can use the question feature on the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. If you can't get to all of your questions before time is up, we'll post more of the answers on the GuideStar blog at trust.guidestar.org soon. And finally, we'll send you all an email with a link to the presentation and today's recording in a few days. I'm happy to introduce our speakers and provide a bit more context around this webinar. Let me start by giving some brief information about the GuideStar Exchange first. We know we developed the GuideStar Exchange so that nonprofits could better control their brand, their story, and the flow of their information across the philanthropic sector. Greatly expanding upon the data provided the IRS via the 990 form, nonprofits can come into the GuideStar Exchange at any time for free to update information about their organization's mission, programs, finances, people, and impact. This data becomes available on GuideStar.org for the 10 million annual visitors searching for accurate, up-to-date information about nonprofits. We also distribute this information across many dozens of platforms such as Amazon Smile, Facebook Causes, search engines, donation processing sites like Network for Good, donor-advised funds like Vanguard and Fidelity, foundations big and small, and many more. Last year, we launched a new GuideStar Exchange in order to reward nonprofits for their commitment to transparency. Organizations sharing basic information, such as mission and program information, can reach our bronze level of recognition. Organizations additionally sharing financial information can reach the silver level, and organizations additionally sharing information about the nonprofit's impact can reach the gold level. When we launched this program last June, we had about 6,600 organizations across those three levels. As of last week, that number had risen to more than 36,000. Into the benefit of helping the nonprofit manage its online brand and distributing that nonprofit's information across so many different, highly trafficked websites and platforms, we offer other benefits to nonprofits who participate in this program. We're focusing on one of our great partners, Grassroots.org. For 1 year now, we've been partnering with Grassroots.org to provide GuideStar Exchange Gold and Silver members with free technology and business resources. Grassroots.org's mission is to help nonprofit organizations succeed by leveraging technology to accelerate their charitable efforts. This by offering an array of free technology tools and services that are easy to implement and manage. 4 Grassroots.org's technology tools are available only to GuideStar Exchange Gold and Silver level participants. These tools include free web hosting, free nonprofit website builder, with nonprofit search engine optimization, and strategic planning consulting. Today, going into detail about 3 of these resources so you can learn more about how to take advantage of these fantastic benefits. Without further ado, I'm happy to introduce James Grierson, Vice President at Bluehost, Al Mitchell, Vice President at SEO.com, and Pam Buller, Program Manager at University of Maryland, Robert Smith School of Business. Thank you all for being here today. Can't wait to learn more about what your organizations offer. And James, please take it away.
All right, very much, Erin. Happy to be here today. Bluehost and Grassroots.org have been partners for a couple of months now. We started last year at the beginning of the year, and we've built out this program. We're happy to share it with everybody today. Basically, Bluehost.com, we're a large web hosting provider. We do websites from shared hosting, VPS hosting, dedicated hosting, and we also help with domain name registrations and other services for customers. We currently service over 2.5 million websites on Bluehost.com. We have a few different partner companies that we also power the technology behind, and all in all, we host over 5 million websites through our system and network. So really happy to be here and explain this program a little bit. To get started with Bluehost.com, first slide is going to show you where to get to that grassroots.org. There is a free website or a free services tab at the top of the site, and you're going to go in there and click on the free website tools. And once you get into the free website tools section, you're going to see a list of services. Bluehost is found right in the center there. If you click on that details area of the Bluehost section, it's going to bring up the free web hosting services for nonprofits and charities section of the site. What we provide to nonprofits is a hosting account. What this is it's a hosting account that is on a server with lots of sites, and we share the resources of that server with the users. This is a great place for any nonprofit to get started with the website. We have over 80 tools that are free to use that you can go and create websites with. We use a lot of our users are utilizing things like Joomla, Drupal, WordPress, Concrete 5, and other open source softwares to build their websites with. You can choose anything that you'd like. We also provide users with unlimited email accounts, so you can go in and create email accounts with your own main name for each of the people at your organization. And we have an online webmail portal that you can utilize, or you can just set it up to use your Outlook or Macmail or whatever email client that you would prefer. So this service is only available to GuideStar Silver and Gold customers, and the features that we include are also, that's slides after here, but to get started at the bottom of this page, you're going to click on the Apply Now arrow, and that will then change and show you a message that you can check your email. So once you're a member of grassroots.org, they've got all your contact information. You'll hit that button. It'll send an email to the contact you have on grassroots.org. And in that email, it's just going to be a link to Bluehost. You click the link, and it's going to take you right into our website and let you get signed up. If you go to our hosting features page on our website, it also will detail all of the things that are included with account. This is, our service is usually $8.95 a month, and that's the that you're going to be getting is that full service 24/7 customer support. Our support center is here in the USA. We offer support via chat or online ticket center. So those are all available to you as well. And once you get into our site and get started now, it's very simple and easy to go. And if you have any questions, our support and everything are right there at the top of the website. We'd be help you out. So with that, I'm going to pass the time over now to Albert, who is with SEO.com.
Thanks. As you said, I'm Albert with SEO.com. I'm going to take a minute and share my screen with you guys. So, I am Albert. As I said, I'm from SEO.com. I'm working with Grassroots and doing consultations for them for quite a while, over the past 3 or 4 years. So this is something I'm very familiar with, and I'm excited to be able to share with you guys. So let me walk through the process of what goes on and how you get this. All you do, log in. Once you log in, go to the box, scroll almost all the way down to the bottom of the page, then you see free marketing tools. Click on either one of those areas to this page. As you'll notice, some of the requirements that you'll need to do, that you'll need to have, is you need to be a silver or gold star holder from GuideStar. So click on the Apply Now button, and that'll take you to a page on SEO.com. There's some additional information that you'll need to fill out here, basic information. From that, people from grassroots.org will reach out to you with an email. He's going to be sending you a questionnaire. We don't set up the appointment until we get that questionnaire back. So make sure that you take time and fill out that questionnaire completely and as fully as possible. One of the things that is on there is if you have specific questions that you'd like us to cover. Although we're most known for SEO, we cover other services like content marketing, social media marketing, pay-per-click, conversion optimization, and some web design. So if you've got questions, we'll do our best to answer your questions on this in the time period. So once the appointment is set, you're going to have, it will be an hour consultation. To get the most out of this consultation, make sure that you are at your computer with internet that is working. The items that we ask for is your phone number. So make sure that that phone that you gave in the process is next to you. Oftentimes we have people give a cell phone. They're in an area where they have poor cell phone connectivity. So just be aware of that when you're giving the number, whatever it is, whether it's a cell phone or a landline. Just be aware that you need to be able to have good access to that. And next item that is big is make sure that you have all the people in the room that are going to deal with this. So if you've got questions about social media that you'd like to ask us, bring that person in. Generally speaking, most of the people that we work with are doing all of these things. They're the people in charge of marketing. They're the people in charge of web development, content, and social. But if you are one of the lucky nonprofits out there that have people to help you with any one of these specific items, make sure you get them on the phone. That way then they can ask questions that are more technical to their specific area of interest. So during consultation, as I said, we'll be covering, generally we will talk about everything from how your marketing vision fits your online presence. We'll talk about your website and your website actually doing what it needs to be coordinating with your marketing efforts. There we'll be talking about you're hitting the right market or the right audience. After covering all that, we talk about some general things dealing with SEO. And once again, these are the things that we're covering. You don't have specific questions. To explain the process of online optimization and making your site better visible to Google. After the consultation, there will probably be a number of different things that we will have discovered that you need to do to improve your site. Now, a lot of times we'll give you as much information as possible to provide you with the tools and with the resources to be able to make those changes yourself. Some of those things are a little bit more technical. If it's something that we come across that is a little bit more technical, and you are interested in having us do that one-off project, you will be getting a discount because you are a Grassroots member and a GuideStar member. I always encourage people to continue to read the SEO.com blog to learn more about online marketing, and then follow us on your favorite social networks because we continue to provide information. Also, the individual that you get in contact with, if there's specific questions about things that you've talked about while on the phone, reach out to them via email. You will receive email when the appointment is set. And reach out to them via email and they'll do their best to get in to answer those questions. If you get your questions answered there, Another place to do it is to just ask us generally on our social media networks. We're one you're most comfortable with. So, having said that, I'm going to pass this on to Pammy.
Aaron, I think you need to unmute yourself.
Oh, thank you very much. Sorry about that. Hi everyone, I'm the program manager for ChangeTheWorld.org, and I'm going to give you a little bit of background about the structure of Change the World, and then we'll go into some details about eligibility. So, the World, we provide pro bono capacity building consulting for nonprofits, and in turn we provide real-world experience for students. Now, to give you a little bit of background about our structure, we are a partner of Grassroots.org, and Change the World is housed within the University of Maryland, the Smith School of Business. The department is called Center for Social Value Creation. So as the program manager, I manage the relationships with the nonprofits as well as with our student consultants and university partners, which you'll hear a little bit more about. So Change the World, we were founded in 2006, and more specifically, we help entrepreneurial, high-potential nonprofit organizations increase their organizational capacity by providing that direct access to pro bono business consulting. So basically, we understand that with nonprofits, there's so many immediate demands that need to be tended to that often the strategic initiatives kind of get put to the side just based on limited time and limited people to be able to plan things out. So our consultants are there to provide that kind of help. Sometimes they build 5-year strategic plans, marketing plans. There's also the case where they can look at a process that the nonprofit is undergoing, and then they can assess it to see how they can make it more efficient. Actually, during this semester, we're going to be working with one of the hospitals to do just that and develop a program and try to make that operation more efficient and streamlined. So we match both undergraduate and graduate students with nonprofits, approximately 3-month-long project-based consulting partnerships. So either the team is all undergraduate or all graduate students. Often our undergraduate teams do have some sort of mentor. Maybe it's at University of Maryland, our undergraduate students have a mentor with from Deloitte. Sometimes it's faculty advisors. So it's really going to, what's going to determine whether you have an undergraduate or a graduate team is going to be the nature of your project. So, for instance, a 5-year strategic plan would typically be a graduate team. And our graduate students are usually MBA students. Sometimes we also have Master of Public Policy students. Undergraduate teams, we often try to make sure that there's at least 75% of the team are business students. Students love this because they get hands-on learning experience as well. Consulting projects are available in finance, marketing, strategic planning, operations, IT, and human capital. As mentioned before, what we really want to focus on is collaborative consulting. So in order to really make a difference, I communicate to the students that when working with you, they have to really take into consideration how many people do you have and how much time do you have and money to be able to implement whatever the recommendation is that they come up with at the end of the semester. So that's really important throughout this process. Now, I had mentioned about that we have certain university partners. This is the way we try to scale our impact. So we're housed in the the University of Maryland. In order to make sure we can reach nonprofits and reach students throughout the nation, we have partnered with these different university partners. We'll also be bringing on the University of San Diego for the spring semester, and there's a couple others that are pending that may be joining us as well. Basically, each university has a Change the World liaison who holds each student team accountable for their progress throughout the semester and working with their clients. In an overview, Change the World is made up of Center for Social Value Creation, Grassroots.org, who provides our technology resources and provide content for our website. We have, of course, our nonprofits and our university partners to supply our student consultants. Just to give you an overview of the impact that we've had since 2006, we've worked with 145 nonprofits, almost 400 student consultants, and 8 different universities. So this gives us the ability to provide over $2 million in consulting services over the past 6-7 years. And interested, if you're interested in learning about some stories from other nonprofit clients that we've had or students' perspectives, you can go on to changetheworld.org, and we have impact stories from both nonprofit perspectives, such as this one, as well as the student's perspective, such as this one. So that gives a feel for what kind of projects as well that you can submit as proposals. So, eligibility requirements are 501c3 nonprofit, Grassroots.org member, and at least a silver badge level status on GuideStar.org. Now, if you're interested in applying, we run the programs during both the spring and the fall semesters, and you can contact me for more details. For the spring semester of this year, looks like we are pretty full with we've hit capacity with the number of nonprofits that we've apply, but for the fall semester, we would love to begin the conversation with you to determine what types of projects would be the most appropriate fit for your organization. So at the end of the Change the World presentation, so I'll hand it off to Erin so she can start questions.
Thank you so much, Tammy and Albert and James, for your presentations. That was, I hope, really helpful for all of the nonprofits who have called in today to learn more about how to take advantage of those benefits. I'll give you one more piece of context about how to make sure you can take advantage of these benefits. In the meantime, please do start submitting some questions. I see some questions have already come through. Bottom right-hand corner, we're just about to start Q&A, so please go ahead and enter your questions there, and I'll be happy to direct them to our speakers. In the meantime, let me just say one word about how to go through this process. So for those of you who are on this call, most likely you're already part of our system in some way. If you're familiar with the GuideStar Exchange, you're already in the system, hopefully, and hopefully have reached the silver or gold level with us. If not, I do encourage you to come back into the GuideStar Exchange and update your information and provide responses to help reach the levels. Our partnership with Grassroots.org, when you sign up with them, they'll be getting information directly from us that you have reached those levels. Once you've done that, that will unlock these benefits. Grassroots.org provides a number of benefits, free tools and resources to organizations that are 501c3s, but these benefits that we talked about today are exclusively available for the silver and gold level participants. Once you go through Grassroots, then you're able to access these benefits. So that's just a little bit more background about how to take advantage of this. Now let's turn it over to questions. So the first question I see here is from one of our attendees. If I currently use Bluehost for my charity's web hosting, can I convert my account to nonprofit easily? So I think that's for James, if you could take that one.
So coming over from one hosting account to another right now is not an automated process. It's something that we are working on. The reason it's not automated is we do need the nonprofit to first go sign up with grassroots.org and be verified through the GuideStar system so that we can offer the free hosting to you. So it's recommended that you go in, get your Grassroots set up and created, and then apply for the program. We do offer migration services and things for accounts hosted elsewhere, and I know that I believe a $99 transfer fee, but we will go in and take all of your existing databases, website materials, and everything, and migrate them over to Bluehost for you, and make sure that it's a good, seamless process.
Great. Thank you, James. Here's another one for Pammy. What is the vetting process for the nonprofits, and when you make the decision so the nonprofits can be prepared to begin working with the consultants? And do the students do site visits, or is this all virtual?
Okay, great question. So the vetting process is essentially, I look at the budget of the organization as well as the capacity and the scope of the project. So budget, capacity, so how many people are there working in addition, and volunteering, and the scope of the project. So whenever I look at the scope of the project, that's really depends on how specific is the project, how is it actually a business consulting project. Sometimes we get requests to do legal advice or legal services. Sometimes we get requests to do web services. So if they're not business related, then that's another piece of a way to kind of filter out some of the other projects. And sometimes whenever it's not entirely clear, like let's say it's a budget of $25,000 or $25,000. Let's say there's no paid employees and there's only a few volunteers who are working with this organization. At that point, I would, let's say the project they have seems like a really good project. I would then call the primary liaison that was indicated on the application and have a conversation with them, because sometimes if it's a step and just really trying to get this off the ground, they just need a couple more hands to be able to help them with their plan, it'd be an interesting opportunity for students to see startup from the beginning. If it's an organization that's been around since maybe the 1980s and they still don't have those kinds of, they have 70 paid employees and still are really managing or working under a really tight budget, under $25K, then it does not seem like a scenario where the student's recommendation can actually be implemented. So I look at all of those factors because I want the students to make sure they know their recommendation has the possibility of being implemented at the end. And as far as the second question, many of the student consulting projects are done virtually, but not all of them. So for instance, I've been actively recruiting nonprofits that are within the DC metro area because we have 4 or 5 different university partners that are within Baltimore and DC. So that way, if they're local, then students can travel there. Now, as for, like, for instance, we had a nonprofit organization in Alaska, so our students were really, they were a little bit hesitant about taking on that nonprofit project, but it ended up working out great. So the consulting virtually can really be an opening experience as well. So we try to keep it local, but it's not always the case.
Thank you. We've got lots more questions coming in. This is great, so please keep them coming. Here's another one for Albert. If our organization currently has a website, what would SEO.com be able to do for our search engine optimization?
Good question. Most of the times, or when people come to us, they really do have a website already. So even our customers have large websites. When they come to us, generally we find technical errors on the back end. And before we even get on the phone with a nonprofit organization, we're going to use information that we see to prepare that call. And part of that is to go through the website and try to identify some of the common mistakes or errors that are made on a website. These could be anything from sections of possibly conversion suggestions or more technical issues, maybe where you're placing your call to actions all the way through to back-end code that needs to be fixed. So this consultation is very adaptable to what you need. That's why we need as much detail as possible prior to the call. If you let us know that you already are somewhat familiar with search engine optimization, then we don't have to go through all the basics of it. We skip all the way through to what you've got questions on. So one of the biggest things that I would say is if you're doing any type of online marketing, email marketing, social media, if you've done work online, make sure you include that into so then we can prepare appropriately and present the information that would then take you to the next level.
Great. A couple of questions around Bluehost. So the first is, can Bluehost help or provide consulting on migration to the cloud?
The answer to the question is yes. We do. I can actually post a link to our site transfer services if you'd like that. One's here, and I can do that to all attendees here. I've sent out to all participants now. But basically what we do as far as moving to the cloud is kind of one of those things that everyone uses in a different way. Cloud hosting means something that is scalable as far as system resources go. The plan that we're offering free through grassroots.org to all silver and gold GuideStar members is a shared hosting plan, which is not it is not a cloud solution that is scalable up and down. It is, you have a set amount of system resources available to you. However, we do offer VPS technology servers. Those are an additional cost from the free service that we're providing you. But those allow you to scale up the amount of CPU, system RAM, and hard disk space and things like that. And we do have the ability from your free account to migrate you to a VPS account when you reach a point with your organization where you need those resources available to you. And it's a very simple process where in your Bluehost control panel, you just click on I need to upgrade. It will actually walk you through the process. You just choose which one you want, and it builds you properly for that, and then it will automatically migrate all of your data from that shared hosting environment onto your own VPS cloud server.
Right. More questions around Bluehost. What type of availability and responsiveness is typical for a hosted website on your server?
As availability, it's a 99.9% uptime guarantee that we provide. What was the second part of the question?
Part of the question was what type of availability and responsiveness is typical for availability and responsiveness?
Okay, so the response times on your account, there's a number of things that you can do on the programming side. Most websites will load within 1 to 3 seconds, depending on how you've optimized your drive. We also provide you with free Cloudflare CDN caching, which can even speed up your site more. What that does is basically all of your images and things like that are cached on servers throughout the world. So there's over 26 data centers that those get served from. And when somebody hits your website, it's going to pull that data from the closest location to them.
One on Bluehost, and then we'll shift to some other speakers. Is there online storage available for Bluehost.com, and also is there a storage limit for emails?
So on our shared hosting platform, we do not limit the file size. So there's no, if you want to use a terabyte of data, you can. We do limit the number of actual files that you can have on an account, and that's it's in the hundreds of thousands of files. So if you're an email hoarder, you may need to back up your email into one file, and then you can keep all of them stored on there. As far as the storage, we do not allow our servers to be used as a storage area to your website or downloadable from the website or something. They have to be website related. We have a partnership with a company called JustCloud that does do file backups, kind of like a Dropbox or something. That I would recommend, looking into one of those services if you're just looking for somewhere to put files you want to share with other people.
So this next one's for you. So Pammy, can you describe more about the IT services that ChangeTheWorld.org offers?
Yes, definitely. So one example, which was kind of a hybrid of IT as well as accounting, was we had a nonprofit that needed, they didn't have a system in place in order to track their volunteers, in order to track their employees, and the number of hours that either the volunteers or the employees were dedicating to the nonprofit organization. And they also had limited resources, so they had Microsoft Access, but they didn't have any money to be able to create another type of database like Salesforce or something like that. So a team of undergraduate students actually built them a database out of Microsoft Access. All of the criteria that they had discussed, they were able to build this very usable database so that they could track their volunteers and their employees. And it did several other things as well. And it was just that's like a good example of how you're able to an IT and an accounting project actually.
Thank you. It looks like we have one last question, and that is, can you write an interface program to share information with the public? I think that's either for Albert or James, but I'm sorry, I don't know which.
Bluehost side, we actually do not do any custom programming for customers. This is we are in a self-hosted solution, so you need to have or an employee a coder that could do that for you on our platform.
And then on my side, I'm not that familiar with what they're asking about. That would be something that during a consultation we could talk about it and possibly refer you to our coders. So we have coders. Generally, we work in WordPress and around WordPress. So I'm not sure all the details of what they're wanting, but it is a possibility that we could do that for them.
Perfect. So thank you again to James, Albert, and Pammy, as well as everyone joining us for taking the time to be here today. We really appreciate it. I really hope this was helpful for all of you. For those of you on the phone, thank you again for being with us. Our next webinar is going to be on February 11th, called Getting Your Donors to Fall in Love with You, and you can register at guidestar.org/webinars. If we did get to your question today, please do check our blog at trust.guidestar.org for additional answers, and watch out for an email coming soon with the presentation and the recording. Thank you again so much, speakers and folks on the phone. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.